But it doesn't let me see comments and shit. Oh, here we go. All right, now, Nick Savage, I can see your comment. Let me know. My phone's doing something weird where it has a little picture of me, not the big screen or anything. And so let me know if you can see and hear me. Please put a 1 if you can see and hear me okay. Hello, Andy Guerra and Les Paul. Let me see here. Hold up, guys. Oh, you're cute. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, you can hear me okay? All right. So here's the deal. Back about a little over a year ago, let me see. Mark's doing live here, so let me see if I can turn on the light here. There we go. So we got a situation. Let me give you some history for those of you that don't know. Back about a little over a year ago, several people went to Livingston, Texas, and they went to Livingston, Texas and met up at an apartment. And they intended to go to the city nearby, which was Corrigan, Texas, and do some filming, do some protesting, because Corrigan had put up a sign that said no filming the police department. Literally, you could not film the building. And they had made some arrests. One of the arrests was Philip Turner from Turner versus Driver. So these folks went down. They went down to Livingston at an apartment where they were going to pick up some other people that were going to go to Corrigan to protest. One of the guys that goes by HBO Matt, was wearing a handgun in a holster legally, and it had a silencer on it. Again, legal. One of the neighbors saw him when he went out to his truck to get some markers so they could write up these signs inside this apartment. And that neighbor called 911. Livingston police showed up, and there is video of this. You can go to HBO Mac, Corners News. Anyway, you just look up Livingston, and you can see what happened. But in a nutshell, the police show up, knock on the apartment door. They immediately start demanding to see paperwork for this silencer that Matthew had, HBO Matt. Well, again, this is not Nazi Germany. Although the police may want to see paperwork for the silencer, Matthew was under no obligation to show them anything or even speak to them. So everybody in that apartment exercised their rights not to talk to the police. Or, if they were going to talk to the police, talk to them about what they wanted to talk about, not what the police wanted. And nobody there was committing any crime. So basically, the police in Livingston in that situation, they got punked. They had to do the walk of shame. They ended up leaving with no charges, but during the encounter, they made several threats towards the people in the apartment. One of the threats was that they were going to have the owner of the apartment evicted, since they didn't want to talk to the police and they are in Section 8 housing. The police said that they were going to have them evicted for not talking to the police. They also indicated that they were going to tow one of the cars. Well, they didn't do that. But let me tell you what they did do. About a week or two later, Livingston Police Department issues warrants for everyone. The charge was abuse of 911. And you can go online, and I'm sorry, I don't have these documents to put up on here because this is kind of an emergency stream to get the word out. But this affidavit describes all of the events. And as a law enforcement officer for 13 years, me looking at this affidavit, I can tell you that there was no probable, it was a long affidavit, very descriptive and informative, but reading the affidavit, there was zero probable cause listed in this affidavit for a warrant of arrest. When you do an affidavit of warrant of arrest, you have to include the probable cause. That is a set of facts that show a crime was committed. That's what probable cause is. And there's no probable cause in this affidavit. The affidavit should have been rejected for a lack of probable cause, but it was not. It was signed off by a corrupt judge in Livingston, and warrants were issued for several people. Now, a couple of the people living in Livingston were arrested on these warrants and put in jail. And they spent weeks in jail because not only did they charge them with misdemeanor abuse of 911, claiming that since they caused the person to call 911, that's abuse of 911. It's just completely ridiculous. That's not what the law says. So they issue a warrant for abuse of 911. Then, because there were multiple people, they say, involved in the incident, filming them and blah, 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 they issued a separate charge for everybody for organized crime. They put a $100,000 bond on the organized crime charge. So the people in Livingston were picked up. They spent several weeks in jail because a $100,000 bond, it's hard to get out. Now, for two of the people, Ismail Rincon, which is the person that just got arrested again for the same thing, and also HBO Matt, they also had $100,000 bonds on the organized crime, and they had, I don't know, $5,000 or $10,000 on the abuse of 911. But they don't live in Livingston. So what Livingston tried to do was issue the warrants, tell all the Texas law enforcement in hopes that the law enforcement would find HBO Matt and Ismail Rincon and pick them up. But I stepped in. I started doing my thing, what I do. I got HBO Matt and Ismail Rincon under my wing. Started finding out what's the warrants, what's the bond amounts. And Livingston didn't want to release that to anybody because they wanted them picked up. We got an attorney involved. I got an attorney involved. The attorney found out the information, found out the charges, found out the warrants and their bonds, and I hand-delivered HBO Matt and Ismail Rincon to Comal County. Now, that's near San Antonio. And they were in and out of Comal County in about 4 hours. They went in. I got my bail bond company to do their bonds, $120,000. Bam, they were in and out. So now Livingston is mad. Livingston's mad because they weren't able to keep them in jail for weeks. So ever since then, Ismail Rincon and HBO Matt has been on bond for about $120,000 for these charges out of Livingston. So, as you guys may know, the next step is they get indicted, right? Well, only just recently was HBO Matt indicted and Corners News not indicted yet. Now, here's a note. One of the people who goes by Blue something, he has an attorney, a judge, and this affidavit is for everybody. It's the same for everybody, right? But they have different attorneys, whatever. Blue's charge of organized crime was dismissed by a judge months ago. Dismissed. The reason for dismissal, the affidavit lacks probable cause. So that judge did the right thing, but only dismissed one of them because you got to take each one of them into court, right? That's the way their process works. Complete tyranny. I'm going to be giving my opinions about what's going on, and I'm going to give you information about what's happening to these people. So it was dismissed for lack of probable cause. But everybody else's charges keep going through, right? Okay. HBO Matt and Ismail Rincon have been checking weekly with Livingston for a court date. Livingston has not issued one all this time. Today, Ismail Rincon was driving around in Laredo. He runs a cleaning business. He has a family. He has a wife. He has 3 kids. DPS sees him, recognizes him, pulls him over, and serves the warrant on him, is what I understand. So Livingston issues a warrant, and the warrant, by the way, is a bond violation on the organized crime, because Livingston set a court date for May 23rd, and Ismail did not show up because Ismail was never notified of the court date. The bond company wasn't notified of the court. Nobody was notified of the court date. Can you guys figure out what's happening? Livingston wants their pound of flesh. They want these guys in their jail for as long as possible. So they throw a court date and they don't notify anybody. Now, I know for a fact they did not notify. And let me tell you what happened with the bail bondsman. So the bail bondsman calls over to Livingston today and says, hey, y'all pulled the bond. When are y'all going to tell us? Livingston says, oh, we did. We emailed you. Now, whenever the bond was posted, Livingston was provided contact information for everyone. They were provided with home addresses, which have not changed. They were provided with email addresses, which have not changed. And they were provided with several telephone numbers. And Livingston says, oh, well, we notified Ismail and the bail bond company by email. So I don't know what email they used for notifying Ismail, but I do know for a fact that the bail bond company says, well, what email did you send it to? And Livingston tells them the email, and the bail bond company says, that's not our email. Never has been our email. We don't know what that email is. So in a nutshell, Livingston sets a court date and doesn't notify anybody. Ismail doesn't show up, so they issue a warrant. Do they tell Ismail's attorney? Nope. They don't tell him in a court date. Did they tell Ismail's attorney that he has a warrant? Nope. Did they tell the bottle box company? Nope. Did they call any of the numbers that they have to let Ismail know that he has a warrant and he needs to turn himself in? Nope. Did they email him? No. Did they mail a letter? No. But what they did do was they told all the law enforcement in Texas that Ismail had a warrant. So now all this law enforcement's running around looking for Ismail. And they arrested him in Webb County. Okay? Webb County. Now, Ismail is sitting in jail. There is no bond. No bond. Livingston said no bond. They want Ismail to be taken back to Livingston. He has a wife. He has 3 kids. If Ismail would have been told that he had a court date tomorrow, he would have been driving up there within hours, because we go to court. All of us guys that do shit and the cops retaliate and arrest us, we go to court. That's our business. But we can't go to court if we're not told. This is complete tyranny. It's illegal. The people that are responsible for this should be put in jail. But I digress. Let me get back into the situation. So Ismail, a husband and father of 3 kids, is sitting in jail right now with no bond because he missed a court date that he never knew about and nobody was notified. Currently, he is in the Webb County Jail. Now, this is where we may differ on opinions, but I'm going to tell you how I see it. Now, Webb County has had Ismail in custody before. And while there were some concerns that were addressed to them when he was in custody, they did address those concerns quickly. Last time he was in jail, he was treated well by DPS, Department of Public Safety troopers. He was treated well by Webb County. So I'll tell you, Webb County is going to take good care of him. However, as far as I'm concerned, Webb County officials, judges, whatever judge saw him should have read the fucking affidavit. You read the fucking affidavit, you dumb motherfucker. And you look at it and you say, there's no probable cause here. I'm not allowing this guy to be put in jail. But they didn't do that. So as far as I'm concerned, Webb County, DPS, any cocksucker that saw that fucking affidavit is a fucking criminal. And they need to feel the fucking heat. They can be nice all they want. They can take care of Ismail and be polite all they want. But tyranny, even if it's done politely, is fucking tyranny. This shit pisses me the fuck off. And it should piss you off too. Ismail has to hire an attorney, which he has done already. He's hired CJ Grisham, and CJ Grisham is already on the case. CJ Grisham is filing the appropriate motions, so on and so forth. Ismail needs money to pay this attorney. So anything that you can help with. I see Farlat Moves, 30 bucks. Thank you very much. Anything you can help with, anything at all. Now, if you can't help monetarily, that's okay. You know how you can help, though. Ismail is, CJ did get his license. He is a bona fide licensed attorney. Ready to work for you. Now, of course, this Ismail's going to have to pay this, right? And he needs all the help that we can give him. I'm giving him money because I can. If you can give him money, please do so. But if you can't, understand, currently he is in the Webb County Jail and not one motherfucker has read the affidavit because they don't want to. As a law enforcement officer or official, you can say, no, fuck this. This affidavit does not contain probable cause. So I'm not going to arrest him. And if you do anything other than that, you're a lower than a piece of dog shit. In my opinion. That's not good law enforcement. It's criminal. If you're a cop right now, if you're an official that has seen this affidavit and knows there's no probable cause on it, and you're allowing this man to be in custody, you are a fucking criminal. And they need to know that. So if you can't donate monetarily to Ismail, you can certainly let your criminal government officials know that they're fucking criminals. And they need to release him immediately. So okay, now let me just I'm gonna light up a cigarette because it really makes me mad. And I'm gonna start addressing some of your comments and questions. He is taken care of. The Texas guy is here. I got in my truck here. I don't know if y'all can see him. That's Mark 210 Cop Watch. Yeah. All right, and so between myself, Mark, Truth Be Told Audits, which is Daniel, Henry Worthy, Patrick White, Who did I miss?
Blue Lives Matter.
Blue Lives Matter. SA Ecstasy Prez. We are all on the case doing whatever we can do to make sure that Ismail is safe and making sure that his family is safe. His wife and 3 kids are in our hands. And we are making sure that his wife and 3 kids do not suffer at all. This is what I need you to do. Thank you, Patrick, for posting the Webb County phone number. Definitely, guys, you don't want to call that phone number. You don't want to call Livingston. Please don't call Livingston. Please do not call Webb County and tell them how much of a fucking criminals they are for having this guy in custody. Don't do that. Don't call Livingston and tell them how criminal they are. Ismail is diabetic. Yes. Somebody was asking, is Ismail diabetic? And yes, he is. Again, I can tell you with 100% confidence that Webb County is going to tend to his medical needs and any other things that he's entitled to by law. I don't have any reason to worry about how he's going to be treated in Webb County. Livingston is a different fucking story. They want their pound of flesh. You see, they know that they're not going to get a conviction on these charges. So their goal is to lock you up in their jail until they have to dismiss the case and fuck you up while you're in their jail so they can get their pound of flesh. They're not going to get you to serve time on a conviction on this case, but they're going to make you serve time this way. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Heather. Heather donated 5, says not much, but hope it helps. Every dollar counts in these situations. And I'm going to let you know, so I have several ways to donate up there. Some of that is my stuff. Some of that is his stuff. As you guys know, and I've done this before, anything you donate to me off this live stream or you earmark it when you donate for Ismail goes straight to him. Any money I make off of the monetization, if I still have monetization, which I could really care less, but anyway, any money I make off this video goes directly to Ismail. I'm not making anything. Whenever I do these videos, all money goes to the person that needs it. And anybody that donates, as I've said before, it's my policy. If you've donated, if you contact me and say, hey, I want to see where the money's going, I will show you. I keep very good records. And anybody that donates is entitled to see where the money's going. I don't play games with donations, and I never have. And I don't get on here and ask a bunch for donations. So when I ask, you must know it's extremely important. And I know Ismail is not the only person facing unlawful arrests. Unlawful arrests are being made all over Texas, all over the United States. And when these unlawful arrests happen, we need to pull together and not take it. And do everything within our power, within the law, to address these wrongdoings. So, let's see what we got here. So he is diabetic. I don't have any worries about Webb County taking care of his diabetic needs. And you better understand, when he hits Livingston, they're going to understand as well that they better take care of him. Because we're going to be all on them like white on motherfucking rice. Livingston Police Department are the ones responsible for this whole mess. And then it's been carried on by their officials who continue with the criminal conduct. Let's see. Snow Ice says, didn't the cops unlawfully bust into his house recently for not carrying a weapon in a government? Yeah. And yeah, so he was arrested because he carried a gun when he went and paid his taxes. And again, the school district there in Laredo issued a warrant for his arrest, an illegal warrant. By the way, all those charges were fucking dismissed because there was no probable cause. Now, our laws are in place, and they don't allow for the death penalty for a fucking cop who files an affidavit without probable cause. If you want to change the law, you got to change it. Otherwise, you just got to respect the law. And unfortunately, our fucking law doesn't allow for the lethal injection to be given to a cop who illegally arrests somebody. I think if you file an affidavit and you know there's no probable cause, you should be subject to lethal fucking injection. The death penalty. That's what I think. But our law doesn't allow for that. So we'll just have to, allow the law to take care of this. Hopefully one day cops get charged under our laws with filing false fucking charges. So I don't know what else to say. I'm just going to look at your comments right quick. Hey there, Late Night with 702. Thank you for joining and moderating. I'm trying to scroll. It doesn't let me scroll through the comments. Like, it doesn't let me go back. I'm sorry. If you made a comment and I haven't responded to it, I'm looking at them now. For some reason, it doesn't allow me to scroll backwards. I don't know why. But nevertheless.
It's an Android.
Yeah, it's fucking Android. God damn it. Okay. Go ahead with your comments and I'll try to address them. And it doesn't even let me pause them, man. Yeah, CJ will be a bulldog on this. Ismail Rincon, for those just joining, he lives over in Laredo, which is Webb County. Livingston issued a warrant for his arrest for a bond violation, saying that he never showed up to court, but they never notified him of the court date. They didn't notify him. They didn't know his. They didn't notify his bail bond company. They didn't notify his attorney. They said they did, but what we found out, the bail bond company found out that email that they sent to notify the bail bond company, that's not their email. It's not their email. So Livingston is playing a fucking game. Oh, but they notified the entire law enforcement in Texas that there was a warrant for Ismail Rincon, and they went and found him, and they arrested him. And currently, he's in the Webb County Jail with no bond. No fucking bond. We show up to court. We happily, we're looking forward to our court dates. People like me, people like Mark, Long Island Audits, SCXC Prez, everybody, when we film cops and they do retaliatory arrests, we look forward. We want to go to court. And they know this. So what do? They issue a warrant. They don't tell nobody, but they tell all the law enforcement so they can hook your ass up and keep you in jail for a few days, few weeks, few months. In this case, there's no bond. So Ismail's stuck in jail. Based on an affidavit that when you read it, does not have any probable cause, and a judge from Livingston already dismissed one of the people's charges because it didn't have probable cause. They should all be dismissed. If one is dismissed, then all the ones that are charged under that same affidavit should be dismissed. The system is fucked up. It's fucked up. Don't the cops have to prove notice was given to the proper context? Currently, let me answer that question. So people say, well, don't the cops have to do this and don't the cops have to do that? Let me tell you the dynamic here. Cops here in Texas I'm going to talk about Texas cops because I know the Texas shit. The cops here don't have to do a motherfucking thing. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Because at the end of the day, history has shown, and currently still, they face zero consequences. They can make illegal arrests. They can beat the fuck out of you. They can do whatever the fuck they want, and they face very little consequence. Every now and then they throw us a bone and an officer gets fired. But it's not enough. It's not enough because if you fire one out of every 100 fucking criminal cops, it's not enough. If you got 100 criminal cops, 110 of them need to be fired. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. If you got 100 cops doing bad shit, 1,000 of them need to be fired because 900 of them watched it happen and didn't do a fucking thing about it because they're fucking cowards. And I can say that because when I was a cop, I snitched on fucking cops. And if you're a cop and you don't snitch on a fucking cop that's doing bad, you're a fucking coward. And I say it to your face while you're running away scared. So, cops are going to keep doing this because currently they're not paying any consequence. Let me give you an example. The cops in Leon Valley, when they arrested all the journalists, that case settled for $500,000 earlier this year. $500,000. And the legal bills were around $1.4 million. So that case costed the taxpayers almost $2 million. You know what it cost the officers? Nothing. They're still fucking employed as police in the same fucking city, Leon Valley. And they're doing illegal arrests again. They just arrested a guy for chalking on a goddamn sidewalk. One of Savaggio's boys. They paid zero consequences. And guess what? They all lied under oath in depositions. I have the fucking proof. I have packets ready on every single officer that lied in the depositions in the Zinter v. Savaggio lawsuit. Under oath in depositions, they fucking lied. And I can prove it. I can prove it with hard evidence. But here's the thing. All the depositions are sealed under protective order. And they're fighting tooth and nail right now to keep them under protective order. We did not sign an NDA on the settlement. First thing we told them is no fucking NDA. So there's no NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. We can talk about this case till the cows come home. But what we can't do is expose the Leon Valley cops who were deposed in the Zinter lawsuit. We cannot expose them lying under oath because they have a protective order in place. This is what we fight against. Now we're fighting for that protective order to be released. And they're fighting for it not to be released. Why would they not want it to be released? When that protective order gets lifted, I have a packet for every single officer that lied under oath, and I'm delivering it to whatever department they're fucking working for. And I'm going to demand they be terminated from fucking law enforcement. If not for making the illegal arrests, for lying under oath about it. That's my plans there. But to answer your question, well, don't the cops have to do this? Don't they have to do that? Currently, they don't have to do a motherfucking thing. That's like asking, hey, does your kid just drink all the sodas and eat all the food in the refrigerator? All this? I mean, well, yeah, the kid does because the kid will face no consequences. So, of course, the kid's going to go in there and eat all the shit, right? That's the dynamic we're facing. Oh, and the city didn't have to pay $2 million. The city had to pay $5,000 for all those illegal arrests. $5,000 deductible to the Texas Municipal League risk pool. I'd like somebody to put Look up the Texas Municipal League Risk Pool. Look them up. They got a website. They have contact information. They are the people that all these departments send money to. That's their insurance. Oh, and they're not going to lose their insurance. That's big business. You see, the Texas Municipal League has almost $1 billion. $1 billion in an account specifically for paying off claims for illegal arrests and bad shit the cops do. Almost $1 billion fucking dollars. So this $2 million that the Zinter case costs, it's a drop in the fucking bucket for them. They don't give a shit. That's nothing. And the city only paid $5,000 and the officers ain't paid shit. So ask yourself, are these cops going to continue to do bad? Yes, they have $1 billion. And that money, it comes from all these departments. And guess where the departments get the money from? The taxpayers. Texas Municipal League Risk Pool. They are the monster behind the tyranny in Texas. They are the money. They are the money that makes people go away and stop talking about the wrongdoings. They are the money that protects these criminal cops. Criminal fucking cops. Thank you, 702. That is the link for Texas Municipal League Risk Pool. If anybody needs to hear about criminal fucking cops, it's the Texas Municipal League Risk Pool. They need to fucking hear every goddamn time one of their fucking clients commits a fucking crime. Everybody needs to hear about it. Everybody needs to be talking about this shit. Everybody needs to be feeling it. Texas Municipal League Risk Pool. They are the monsters behind the tyranny. They are the money. Look them up. You can look up their budget. You can look up their accounting and you can see how much money they have in their risk account. I think it's almost $1 billion, around $700-800 million. So anyway, Ismail sits in jail right now, no bond, because Livingston issued a bond violation because he didn't show up to a court date that they never told him about. He needs money. He needs money for his attorney. So I'm asking if you have any money to give to help him out, to pay for an attorney, please consider donating something. Anything helps. Anything. And those that have donated, thank you. If you can't donate, then you can certainly voice your opinion on the matter. Make sure that if you do decide to voice your opinion on the matter to TML, to the police departments involved, to the officials involved, make sure that you do not violate laws. There are laws in Texas regarding threats, regarding telephone harassment. Please make sure that you are aware of the laws in Texas. And while you may feel inclined to voice your opinion on the matter, exercise your First Amendment right, redress your government, make sure that you do it legally, please. I do not condone criminal activity by you or the police. No criminal activity. Make sure you know our laws. And I'm going to tell you in a nutshell. You cannot say things that would place an ordinary person in fear of bodily injury. So you can't threaten to hurt anybody like that, nothing like that. You can cuss all you want. You just can't threaten people. I don't condone it. No matter how emotional you may get, please don't break the law. That does not help anybody. It doesn't help you. And you better believe that if you do call, they don't give a fuck about what you're saying. They don't. Currently, they don't give a fuck. But they're going to latch on to every word you say, and they're going to try to find a way to charge you. Because that's what they're doing. That's what criminals do. Fucking gang members. It's what they are. Blue Line Gang. The Blue Klux Klan is what I call them. These criminal cops, I call them the Blue Klux Klan. They're no different than the Ku Klux Klan. They're very similar in so many ways. The Ku Klux Klan hated black people. The Ku Klux Klan. The Blue Klux Klan hates anybody that's not blue. It's a color thing. If you're not pro-blue, if you're not part of them, they fucking hate you. The Blue Klux Klan. And just like the Ku Klux Klan, the Blue Klux Klan has a lot of power, right? The Ku Klux Klan had a lot of power too. And just like the Ku Klux Klan, the Blue Klux Klan kills, murders, maims, injures, illegally arrests, harasses people that aren't blue. Just like the Ku Klux Klan did all that stuff to people that weren't white. That's the way I look at it. The Blue Klux Klan. The Blue Klux Klan. And all you cops out there that are like, it's not all of us. Fuck you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Because if you're not screaming at the top of your lungs when you see shit like this, you're a fucking criminal that belongs to the Blue Klux Klan. That's what you are. You ain't shit. And that's how I feel. Makes me mad. I'm pissed off. This is criminal action against Ismail Rincon. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. So I'm going to go ahead and get off this live stream. Look out for more videos coming out about this situation. We'll give everybody updates as we can. Feel free to use this live stream any way you feel. You can take it. You can cut it up. You can do whatever you want with it. Post it wherever you want. Share what's going on with Ismail Rincon, please. Also, there's a lot of other auditors. There's a lot of other guys and girls that film the police that are being subjected to unlawful arrests all over the United States. And you guys, pick and choose who you want to support and how you want to support. But please support all these folks that are getting unlawfully arrested by the police. I understand Long Island Audits has been arrested unlawfully. I understand the folks up in Dallas, the folks down in Galveston, Texas. I haven't been arrested since 2020 because I got this motherfucking city that I live in on lock. People used to say, "Oh, Jack, man, he has a bad mouth. He's doing it wrong," and all this other shit. Well, other than Olmos Park, all these fucking cops that used to write me tickets left and right and used to put me in handcuffs left and right, they stay 100 yards away from me. They're respectful. They do their fucking jobs correctly. I'm still watching them like a motherfucker. And it's not just me. There's quite a few of us that are watching these cops around my area, and we got them locked down. It was hard. And And right now I'm wearing a fucking ankle monitor from Almost Park, taking weekly fucking drug tests, and they have a stay away protective order. The police, I can't go near the police in Almost Park because I resisted arrest, right? You guys all saw that. So it's not easy doing this shit. But after everything was said and done, I'm telling you, the cops in our area, we got them on fucking lockdown. And we're constantly on top of them. And this needs to be done everywhere that we can do this. That's one way we can change these criminal cops' behavior. Exposure, use your mouth, use your brain, and within the law, address this shit on every level, every day. If you guys see a cop, film them. You don't have to be a, quote, auditor to film the police. If you're pumping gas at a gas station and you see the cops doing anything, take your fucking phone out, hit the goddamn camera button, and point it in their direction. Hold it down by your waist. They don't need to know that you're filming them, but put them on video. Put them on video. And if you catch something that they're doing that's bullshit, if you're not an auditor, send it to one. Send it to me. Let me spearhead the effort to get criminal cops on the straight and fucking narrow. Or send it to someone. Please film the cops at all times and encourage everybody you come across to watch the cops. They need to be fucking watched. And their bullshit needs to be addressed. Yeah, Coroner's News arrested on a bullshit warrant with no bond in Webb County. Currently, Coroner's News is in the Webb County Jail. They are holding him on a warrant that has an affidavit attached that clearly does not have any probable cause. Webb County is just as complicit as Livingston as far as I'm concerned. Now, you people in Webb County, I know you're watching this because I've heard from your own fucking people that you watch my shit. So let me tell you something. You're holding him and you're not looking at that affidavit. And for that, as far as I'm concerned, every one of you motherfuckers are criminals in my fucking eyes. Next time I'm in Laredo, don't come up to me and shake my motherfucking hand. Anybody can get it. You're a fucking criminal, as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if you're in your fucking maternity uniform, fat and fucking pregnant, you're a pregnant fucking criminal. A piece of shit in my fucking eyes. Webb County is just as guilty for ignoring that fucking affidavit. They're ignoring it. A judge has already dismissed one of the charges because the affidavit does not contain probable cause. Why can't you guys see that and stand up and say we're not honoring this warrant because there's no probable cause? Why can't you fucking do that? This affidavit is no different than if the affidavit said that Ismail was arrested and charged for drinking out of the same goddamn water fountain that I drink out of because he's Mexican and I'm white. If the affidavit said that, it would amount to the same fucking thing. It's not illegal. So imagine if it said that and they were still holding him in custody and ignoring the fact that it said he drank out of the same water fountain as me. You know, back 50 years ago, if you were black and you swam in the same swimming pool, or you dated my sister, or you drank out of the same water fountain as me, it was against the fucking law. And you got arrested. Well, that's not the law anymore. Thank God. But what if a black person was in Webb County Jail right now And the affidavit said he was in jail for drinking out of the same fucking water fountain as me, violating the sundown law. Do they ignore that? And just say, hey, we're just doing our job. I mean, it's a warrant. It was signed by a judge. Do they do that? And if they did that, do we stand by and say, oh, okay? No. If somebody was arrested for that, it lacks probable cause. This warrant for Ismail lacks probable cause. So we should be just as fucking mad. Just as mad. I think if somebody was in jail for drinking out of the same water fountain as a white person, I might have to take the charge for punching a motherfucker. But, you know, I'll pray about that. I'll pray about it. I'll go see my priest, and I'll be good to go. I ain't punching nobody. But, man, I feel like it, right? I feel like it. But I'm gonna pray about that. All right, guys, I think I've gone on long enough. Thank you guys for watching. Again, you can take this content, you can share it anywhere you want, do whatever you want with it. There's not going to be any copyright shit, none of that stuff. Please share it with everybody you can. Blue Flyer, you're asking what's going on. You're going to have to just go back and replay the live stream. I explained everything in the beginning. I think I've been around here long enough. Thank you guys for watching. I really had to come out and give you guys this information. Once again, Ismail Rincon is in the Webb County Jail. Livingston issued a warrant because they say he didn't show up to court, but they never told him, they never told his bondsman, they never told his attorney, they didn't tell nobody, except they told the entire law enforcement in Texas that he had a fucking warrant. And they found him today, picked him up, and he's being held in the Webb County Jail. There's plenty of links to the place he's being held. There's plenty of links to the people that issued the warrant. There's links to the place he's going to end up going to, which is in Livingston, and God knows how long that's going to take. It could take months, because they're going to get their pound of flesh. They can't get it into conviction, so they're going to get it this way, and it's fucking criminal. It's criminal. We have to put a stop to it. Pay attention to the link for the Texas Municipal League Risk Pool. That link was posted. Please post that link again for people that are just joining. They are the money behind this stuff. They are the ones that pay these settlements and allow these officers to keep doing what they're doing. If anybody needs to hear about this shit, it's the Texas Municipal League Risk Pool. All right? They need to hear what's going on. They need to hear what's wrong. The Texas Municipal League Risk Pool sets the policies. They influence the fucking policies. They have the power to influence policy. Policy like you don't arrest somebody unless you have probable cause. They can influence the policy by telling these departments, and then if the departments don't want to comply, they can financially put pressure on these departments to change their ways. The Texas Municipal League Risk Pool. They need to hear from you. Go to their website. They got phone numbers. They got emails. They got addresses you can send mail to. Let them know what the fuck is going on. Patrick, you're watching. If you can, I can't do it off my phone, but it looks like Heather Holt wants to moderate. I'm okay with that. 702 vouches. I'm okay with that. So you can add her as a moderator. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I got to go. Talk to you soon. I need to figure out how to end this motherfucker. Man, it's not the same, guys. Bro, it doesn't want to let me end it. Hey, don't touch me yet.
No,
it's still live streaming. Oh. Mark can't keep his SA210 can't keep his hands to himself.
Hey, I will.
Hold on.
I have to help Jack off the horse, man.
Help Jack off the horse.